Do we have everybody? Good evening. The time is 7:38. I apologize, we're starting a little bit late. We're just trying to squeeze in our work session, or our exec session before the meeting. The time is 7:38. We do have a quorum. We are missing Councilwoman Christy Linsky. She had a death in the family and flew to Illinois to go to the funeral. So she will not be here tonight, but we do have a quorum. And we'll start with our invocation. We have Reverend Allison Perlee from Westminster Presbyterian Church.
Me again. Let's pray. Gracious God, we come before you tonight to honor you and to ask for your presence with us. You are worthy of all praise, and you are the source of every good and perfect gift that we have been given. We thank you for our community and all who serve it, for those who teach and those who protect, for those who clean and those who repair, for those who work in parks and those who work on roads, for those who plan and those who make the plans happen, for those who heal and those who counsel, for those who govern and those who elect, and for all who live into the best example of what it means to be a citizen. We thank you for our community. We ask your blessing on this meeting of the Snellville City Council and the tasks that are before our mayor and our council members. Bless their efforts with clear insight, their deliberations with wisdom, their work with clarity and accuracy, and their decisions with impartiality. May the decisions that they make use our community's resources wisely and well, represent our citizens fairly, and promote unity and the common good in our neighborhoods. We ask all of this in the name of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Thank you, Reverend. And now we'll have the pledge to the flag with our very own Erica Fleeman. Thank you, Erica. We have an item under ceremonial matters. We have a presentation to the city from the Run the Reagan Committee. If you would all like to come forward.
Good evening. I'm Ron Weber. Councilman Emanuel asked me to keep this very short, so we're with the Run to Reagan. We've got something to give you guys. Anything else? He knows me. Okay, I'm Ron Weber. Was that short enough? I am this year I'm the president of the Run the Reagan Committee, and I think everyone knows that once a year, through the county and through the city of Snellville, we are able to obtain the use of the Ronald Reagan Parkway to run this charitable event. This year we had 1,740 runners, over 2,500 attendees in the Family Fun Center, over 400 volunteers. We had about 54 booths with 20 vendors set up. A lot of the booths were gratis. They were high schools setting up and what have you. The School of Rock was there to perform, and we ended up giving about $48,000 to 3 of the named charities. Those included the Southeast Gwinnett Co-op, the Lilburn Co-op, and the Brookwood Schools Cluster Foundation. In addition, there was another $6,000 or so given out to other schools for their participation, and that is growing and building as we go along. We had some featured sponsors this year. Eastside Medical is our largest contributor. They've been our featured sponsor for several years now. Other ones included ER Snell, Academy Sports, Primrose Schools, Mazzari Dentistry, Cannon United Methodist Church, and a variety of others. Anyway, the event, we thought, with 1,740 runners was very successful. The weather was colder this year, and it was also misting rain the whole time. So we were very grateful to have the participation that we had, and it wouldn't be possible without the support of the city of Snellville, which we greatly appreciate. Trust me, the School of Rock greatly appreciated having your stage where they were able to perform without their instruments getting all wet. It was great, wonderful stage. We hope that you could see fit to allow us to have that again this year. But anyway, we are just here. We'd like to present you all with a plaque of appreciation for the time, effort, and energy that you all put in to help this event be very successful. And with that, we'd like to bring Mayor Bender down. And Dave, could you come down too, please? I mean,
Dave is very involved in what we're doing. Did you run?
Did you run? So you have paid for the right to come down? Come on down, Todd.
I want to announce I was the slowest in my age group.
Slower than me.
Congratulations. Folks. 1, 2, 3. One more.
Thank you.
Okay, next we'll have the minutes. Is there a motion for the minutes?
There is a motion for the minutes. Motion to approve the minutes of the September 9th, 2019 meetings.
There's a motion to approve the minutes. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor, please raise your right hand. That is 5 in favor and none opposed. That's right, we have 5, right? We have no invited guests. We have 2 committee reports. First with Snellville Tourism and Trade, to be given by Kathy Emanuel.
Good evening. Kelly apologizes for not being here. She had something else she really needed to get to, and she said I could read, so here we go. Good evening. The Taste of Snellville went off without a hitch. All the restaurants said they really enjoyed the event and looked forward to coming back next year. It was great to hear so many positive comments. Many thanks to all of our Team Snellville volunteers and to our staff who helped make this event so successful. Special thanks to Council Member Gretchen Schultz, who volunteered even after working the farmers market all day, and to Council Member Todd Warner, who stayed until the bitter end, helping clean up and count the many bags of tickets from each vendor. I also want to give a shout out to Council Member Dave Emanuel for always helping put up our event signs around the city, and to John McAloon, who goes to pick them up. Thank you to our Public Works Department, who prepares the city for all events, and to the Snellville Police Department for keeping us safe. This Saturday, the 28th, will be the last concert in the Live on the Lawn series, featuring The Stranger, a Billy Joel tribute band. J.K. Reynolds will be opening the show at 6 o'clock. October 4th is the last Food Truck Friday of the season, followed by our Fall Festival on October 19th. Please join us at the next Commerce Club meeting that will be held at City Hall on October 1st, with our guest speaker being Chief Roy Whitehead. Our board meets the 3rd Monday of each month at City Hall, and all are welcome to attend our meetings. We are still accepting applications for stat board seats until October 18th. You may download the application that is on our website. Excuse me. The Grove t-shirts can be purchased online at snellvilleevents.com. The deadline to order is October 25th. Are there any questions that I can answer?
Any questions of Kathy? Nope. Thank you, Kathy, we appreciate it. Next, we'll have, is there someone here from the Snellville Youth Commission? Come on forward.
Good evening, Council and Mayor. My name is Gamal Stelz, and I am here to represent the Snellville Youth Commission. On behalf of the Snellville Youth Commission, we thank you for your support. This month, we have been busy planning for a forum that will be held on Saturday, October 26th in the Senior Citizen Center from 5 to 8 p.m. We would like to extend an invitation to Council and Mayor Bender to stop by. On this past Saturday, we had the pleasure of touring Tomco Systems, Hampton Inn, and YSS Athletics. Throughout the different tours, we learned valuable insights about their industry and how they support Snellville. We also did a walk around Snellville to visualize the new changes that will take place to improve our city. Lastly, we would like to thank you for allowing us to join you in the design of the youth space of the new town. Thank you. Is there any questions?
Any questions? Nope. Thank you. We appreciate all your work on the Youth Commission. Next, we'll have the approval of the agenda. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve the agenda.
There's a motion to approve the agenda. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor, please raise your right hand. That is 5 in favor and none opposed. We have one item under our public hearing. It's item A, second reading, SUP 19-02, consideration and action on application by Love and Faith Ministries and Mockberry Investments, Inc. for a special use permit and variances from the zoning ordinance for a place of worship in Building D, Fountain Square Business Center, zoned BG General Business District, at 2140 McGee Road, Snellville, Georgia. Mr. Thompson.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council and public for being here this evening. We'll go over this special use permit request that we've received, enumerated SUP 19-02 for tax parcel 5007014, located at the Fountain Square Business Center on the corner of 78 and McGee Road. The space is currently a 15,000 square foot space. The request is from Pastor Christopher Boatman. He's from his business is currently in Lawrenceville, and a little bit of background on what he's planning to do here is he already owns an existing business in Lawrenceville that's an adult daycare. He's grown out of the space and needed another space to continue to grow his business and provide the citizens that needed that kind of care, and Snellville was close. He also has a ministry that he provides that's not necessarily auxiliary to that service, but complementary to, that he needed some space for, and this space offers him that flexibility to do both things on one property. And while the worship center is required for a special use permit, the use of the adult daycare is a permitted use within the district. So just wanted to kind of clarify what we had going on there. And a little background on the property: it is a zoned business general. It's a 9-acre property that's kind of the frontage there where the Fountain Center Business Square is, and it has a small frontage on both McGee and 78 for access, but obviously is a larger, older shopping center that's been converted into an office center. Once again, the applicant is requesting to be allowed to operate a place of worship in this location. It's actually Building D, and there's certain requirements that we just adopted in 2017 for special use permits in these kind of developments. So the first one is the site shall be located on no less than 5 acres. It's over 5 acres. The second one is all such facilities and buildings shall front a street having a classification of principal arterial, major arterial, minor arterial, major collector street, or state highway. There is a state highway locally, and McGee, I believe, is a major collector at this point. They have requested a variance for the actual amount of the frontage. The frontage is 250 linear feet, but given that the access drive is smaller than that, they would need to have a variance for that. They also, the third is the parking is not to be located within 25 feet of the front yard setback area. It's not. And if adjacent to residentially zoned properties, they have to have a specific buffer. There is no residentially zoned property abutting the development, so they meet that. There is one key that we always look at when we park or when we consider churches and religious uses is the parking. Typically, that's where we find the most conflict when they're, I'm sorry for the size of it, but you can kind of get the gist of it. The most conflict when we have these uses in shopping centers if there's not ample parking. So we did the parking and at max seating for the church, max occupancy of the business center, and then max occupancy of the car dealerships that are allowed to store cars there, and Enterprise's use of 15 or 20 spaces. They ended up being deficient 34 spaces, and now that's at a period of time where everybody is there at the same time. We believe that this will probably not happen, if ever, where the church is full, the business center is full, and all the parking lot is full with the car dealers' cars, just because of the different use timings for each use. Typically, the business center is full Monday through Friday. They only use a few cars. You can see them kind of in the front there. They're in and out. It's small office suites, so they don't generate a lot of traffic. And then obviously the larger crowds for church may occur on Sunday, and then your other traditional times of Wednesday and any other kind of fellowship services. Even then, most likely the parking lot would be able to contain any of the cars needed to park there. So we found that granting a variance in that regard was fine. Over 30 spaces. I believe there's over 400 total spaces. It was built at a time when, you built to Christmas Eve and everything else just kind of just sits empty the rest of the year. So there's plenty of parking. It does meet the other requirements of the code, and I know in the past there's some concern about allowing these religious institutions into shopping centers, but I believe more of that concern was a smaller scale where they go into a small space, it grows, the parking becomes an issue, and then we have a parking problem, and I don't see that being the case for this one. So we recommended approval with the 4 conditions as referenced in your ordinance tonight, as well as the variance to allow them to vary from the 250 feet minimum road frontage to 135 feet, and the variance from the maximum for 34 spaces below. I'd be happy to answer any questions at this time.
Thank you, Mr. Thompson. Are there any council questions for Mr. Thompson? No, thank you. Is the applicant here? If you'd like to come up, and any words that you would like to say about your development?
Good evening.
Good evening.
I just want to come up here and kind of piggyback off of what he said. Basically, me and my wife, we own an adult day center, and we deal with Alzheimer and dementia seniors. As you know now, it's growing. The disease is growing. A lot of doctors are recommending an adult day center for seniors with this disease so it can get a more social life, get out the house, won't fall into depression. So as we was doing this, we had a lot of families coming in making decisions of placing their loved ones into a lone care facility, and they just didn't know which way to go. So after sitting with them, we decided to have a social group, and we met every Wednesday. We come together, and everybody that came, put their little inputs in, trying to help them make decisions. Then through that, they asked for prayer, and then, they asked for scripture and things like that. So I was already looking to start a ministry, me and my wife, and everything just fell in place. So we said, hey, why not have everything at one location? So that's pretty much what we're doing. Also, we are already heavy in the community in Snellville. We have did community outings up the street at Headliners Barbershop for their back to school. We gave away free haircuts to all the underage kids. Came in there from 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock on August the 3rd. Also, we do outreach down in Atlanta under the Vidoc. We take once a month, we go down there and give hygiene products. We go down there and give food, things like that. People from our ministry, we're just a ministry that's a multicultural. We don't follow any denomination, and we feel like, excuse me, that the church is not just inside the four walls. You got to go out and kind of help people with other issues that they deal with in daily life. And that's me being a product of being growing up with a single mother and seeing the things that she went through. My heart always goes out to people that are struggling with different issues, seeing that I went to college, graduated, social work. So I just want to help. If I can just help one person, then I'm all good. So that's pretty much it. Any questions?
Any questions?
All right.
Nope. Thank you, Mr.
We can be long-winded, so.
Okay, this is a public hearing, so at this point, we will open up the floor to public comment. If anyone is either for or against this application, please step forward and give your name and address for the record.
Good evening, Council, Madam Mayor. My name is Ray Mockberry. I'm with Fountain Square Business Center, and I'm here to ask you to approve this project to come to Fountain Square for many reasons, but the top 3 reasons that I could share with you is that many years ago, right here in this chamber, I believe Mayor Oberholzer was at that time the mayor, and the city of Snellville, we were thinking about what can we do to keep our children here, because at that time our kids were growing up, they were getting married, they were having children. We wanted them to establish a life right here in Snellville, close to us. And now we've reached a point where what can we do to keep our parents here, to provide these type of services. And as the aging population grows, I think this is a wonderful service that we could use here. I know I'm getting up there in age, and I can see myself in that center soon. But I think it's a service that we certainly could use here in Snellville. And second reason is that vacancies usually bring with themselves bad elements. Not that that's a problem here in Snellville, thanks to our wonderful police department. Snellville is a wonderful city. We really have not ever had any incidents there. But it helps keep bad element away by keeping it occupied. And the third main reason, I have such a giant parking lot there. And it is when it's not in good shape, it doesn't look good. We're getting ready to invest some money and redo the parking lot, and nothing destroys parking lots worse than no cars there. So by the presence of traffic, it will make that parking lot last longer, look better to all of us. Lastly, I just wanted to thank the city. I rarely get the chance to do that, but Fountain Square wouldn't exist if it wasn't for the friendship and the kindness and the help that the city has shown us in the past 16 years. So we hope that you will pass this. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Montberry. Is there anyone else? Seeing no one else, I will close the floor to public comment. Are there any comments by city council members? Then seeing none, the chair will entertain a motion.
Okay.
Ladies first, go right ahead.
Well, thank you, Todd. Motion to approve SUP 19-02 with reference to ordinance 2019-18.
Okay, there's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. The motion references the ordinance that has the conditions and variances that were presented by Mr. Thompson. Mr. Boatman, are you in agreement with those variances and conditions? Okay. The applicant is in agreement with those. So we have a motion to approve. All in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. That is 5 in favor and none opposed. Welcome to the city of Snellville. Okay, we have nothing on our consent agenda and no old business. Under new business, we have item A, consideration and action on award of contract for repair of stormwater drainage systems, bid PW 190807 SW, and authorize the mayor to execute the contract. Is there a motion?
I guess I'll do it then. Motion to authorize the mayor to execute the contract for the repair of stormwater in an amount of $454,654, not to exceed the stormwater repair budget.
Can you one more time?
$454,654 to the Dickerson Group. I missed that one.
Sorry, Dave.
Okay, so there's a motion to award the bid to the Dickerson Group for a bid price of $54,664. There's a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. It is 5 in favor and none opposed. This, I should have said this before we voted, but this is for stormwater projects for the coming year. Every year we bid all the projects that we know about at this point, we bid those projects all at one time and usually award that to one contractor. And so we have a list of projects. I'm sure Brian will put that out on our website and Facebook page tomorrow for all of you to review. With that, we will move to item B, consideration and action on award of bid for fiscal year 2019-20, annual resurfacing and paving. It was PW 190807P, and authorize the mayor to execute the contract. So what we're awarding here is a bid for annual resurfacing. The city sets out in our budget a capital project budget for paving, and we pave as many streets as we possibly can with that budget for the year. Again, we do have a list of the streets that will come up under this contract, and Brian will put those out tomorrow as well on the website. So is there a motion?
Make a motion that we pass or award PW 190807P to ER Snell Contractors for the 2019-2020 fiscal year in the amount of not to exceed $696,000 as budgeted in the budget.
Okay, there's a motion to award the bid to the low bidder ER Snell, not to exceed $696,000. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor, please raise your right hand. It is 5 in favor and none opposed. With that, that ends our regular business meeting. So we'll move into council reports. Councilmember Todd Warner.
Well, as we heard earlier tonight, Run the Reagan happens every year. And last year I had the joy of running a 10K for the first time in 20 years. And again, I'd like to reiterate, I came in last in my age group, but I did it and I finished and I lived to tell the story. As a matter of fact, since I was campaigning at the time, I actually went and walked another couple miles as I knocked on people's doors and annoyed them until they said they'd vote for me. I would like to issue a challenge to my fellow council members to join me this year and run the Reagan, because it's for a good cause.
It ain't gonna happen.
Well, you can walk, and I've already talked my 85-year-old father to running the 5K, because even though he's in the early stages of Alzheimer's, they have a pretty well-marked trail. He runs right at 3 miles a day in 30 minutes. And every day he tells me what his time was, and he's been shaving time off, so he's going to put me to shame. He's going to cover half the distance and beat me by at way more than twice the speed. But I highly recommend it. It's a great time. I hope y'all will join me, and I hope the rest of you will join me too. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Marmel?
Just wanted to remind everybody, September 22nd or 27th at Westminster Presbyterian Church, there's the Falls Prevention Awareness Day. It's from 10 a.m. till 2 p.m. There's going to be demonstrations, health checks, there's screenings, and I think there's counseling too going on. Just a reminder.
Thank you, Councilmember Marmel. Councilmember Schultz.
Button, yes. I want to give a special shout out to our community garden tonight. Our community garden, we have 2 master gardeners, and they're here tonight, and I'd like them to stand up. Wes Nettleton and Eileen Megason. And they have been very involved with the food science class at South Gwinnett High School, who's represented tonight by Principal Dorothy Jarrett. It is amazing what they have done with these students. Last spring, they planted sweet potatoes in a raised bed, actually 2 raised beds, correct? 2 raised beds on the campus of South Gwinnett High School. And I would venture to guess a lot of these students had never planted sweet potatoes before. Recently, they harvested their sweet potatoes, and out of these 2 4-by-8 foot beds, they got 2 bushels of sweet potatoes. And you can see these pictures of the students and how proud they are of their harvest. Wes and Eileen have given them such good life lessons with this project on the campus of the school, and I just want to acknowledge them for all their work and the time that they devote to the school and to the students there. Here's a picture of the sweet potatoes curing in the back of the classroom, and they will soon use them in their culinary class to prepare some sweet potato recipes. So thank you so much, Wes and Eileen. And also, thank you to Principal Dorothy Jarrett for your unwavering support of projects like this at South Gwinnett. The one other thing I wanted to mention is that the Snellville Police Department recently received an outstanding award, which was the top prize in the Governor's Office of Highway Safety Awards. And Chief Whitehead, could you come up and tell us about that award? Because we all know in Snellville we have a fabulous police department, but now the whole state knows it too. And I think that's so important.
Every year, the Snellville Police Department participates in the Governor's Office of Highway Safety Governor's Challenge. It's open to every agency in the state of Georgia for traffic enforcement to keep our roadways safe. There are several enforcement implementations regarding occupant protection, impaired driving, speeding, distracted drivers. It also deals with pedestrian and bicycle safety, as well as education programs and community involvement. And each agency prepares a submission that indicates all the data from all the activity they've done throughout the year. We submitted that application. It was prepared by Lieutenant David Matson and Sergeant Scott Smith, and they were able to, by presenting that submission, it was judged by highway safety experts from South Carolina and Tennessee. So they don't know any of the agencies, they just know from the body of work that's been presented. Based on that, we won first place in our category, which is agencies 26 sworn to 50 sworn. But we also won special awards against all agencies for occupant protection and distracted driving. And then based on the totality of everything we did in the work product, we received the Governor's Cup, which is statewide the #1 award in the state this year, and it's presented by Governor Brian Kemp.
I'm finished.
And Mayor Pro Tem Emanuel.
Thank you. October 26th, here at City Hall, we're going to have a meeting about explaining Snellville Clean and Proud. We're also going to have people from the county who are going to talk about code enforcement, and the solicitor from the county will be here talking about his project to catch people who are illegally dumping. So that'll be here 6:30 this Thursday if you'd like to attend. And also for Run the Reagan, after they run the Reagan, we're going to clean the Reagan as part of Clean and Proud, and we're actually going to have a booth there to inform people about what we're doing. So unfortunately, I won't be able to run, but we're going to clean afterwards.
So you're saying I beat you already? Okay.
And now for the mayor's report. This past week, I had the opportunity to sit down for breakfast with the new president at Georgia Gwinnett College, Dr. Jan Joseph. She's a wonderful woman. I think the school is in very good hands. They had invited all the mayors from Gwinnett to come in and be able to sit down and talk with her. So it was a great hour and a half of time that we got to spend, not only with my fellow mayors here in Gwinnett County, which we always have a great time together, but also to meet Dr. Joseph. So if you do have an opportunity, please make sure that you say hello to her if you see her out and about, and welcome her. She did decide to settle in Lawrenceville. She's not coming to Snellville, but we won't hold that against her. So very excited to see what Georgia Gwinnett does now. I mean, the school has done such a phenomenal job in being the college, and how long they've been there, 10 years now, I think? 11 years. They have been a phenomenal success and a really great addition to Gwinnett County for higher education. Also, Kathy had talked about the Taste of Snellville. Last weekend was a lot of fun. I guess it was 2 weekends ago now. It was a lot of fun. My husband Greg got to judge the food, so I got to follow around with him and get a taste of everything that was out there. So that was a lot of fun. Really great day, good crowd, and beautiful weather. It just really worked out well. And just wanted to let you know that my husband Greg will be having an autograph session. If anyone watched the game Saturday night, Greg did get his 2 minutes of fame on national TV. He was one of the very few Notre Dame fans sitting in the sea of UGA fans, and they happened to catch his expression as Georgia scored that last touchdown. So I'd gone down with some of my other family to tailgate. I didn't have a ticket, so but we were down there through halftime watching the game on TV while he was enjoying the game. But I just pulled into my garage. It was about 11 o'clock, and my phone just started blowing up with everybody texting me, "I just saw Greg on TV." But he is, yeah, so he's excited now that he's getting a little fame other than being the mayor's husband. With that, I'll close my mayor's report, and we will open the floor to public comment. Anyone who would like to say anything, please come up and give your name and address for the record. And I did have one person signed up, Aretha, is it Rankin? Come up, please.
Good evening, everyone.
And your name and address for the record.
Oh, Aretha Rankin, 2973 Skyland Drive in
Thank you.
Snellville. Okay. So my question is, Does the ability to have pet chickens, does anyone know if that will be approved anytime in the city of Snellville, within the city limits?
I can tell you it's not in our ordinances now. We are about to have another work session on a draft of our new development codes. So we'll see what's in there. I think it was being addressed in there, yes. It is in there. And that draft, is it on the website yet? Not yet. We're still working out the issues between the staff and the consulting company that's doing that.
Yes.
So probably in another month, we'll have that up on the website.
Okay.
So if you'll watch our Facebook page or on the website, we should have it up there for you.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, everyone.
Anyone else?
I did not sign up. Allison Purley,
You don't have
pastor
to.
of Westminster Presbyterian Church at 2208 Main Street East. I want to thank you, inform you, and also invite you. So Roger, thank you for making the announcement, and Gretchen, thank you for putting our flyers at the farmers market. But I wanted to let everyone know that this week is Falls Prevention Awareness Week. And I don't know if you know this or not, but falls are the leading cause of fatal injury in older adults. And that last year alone, 47,000 older adults went to the ER for falls. This Friday, we are hosting the Falls Prevention Awareness Day at Westminster Presbyterian Church, along with Emory University and the Georgia Department of Public Health. And we have now over 100 older adults signed up, along with over 40 students from Mercer Physical Therapy Department and a number of other wonderful professionals who are coming. Even I think Chief Whitehead is coming. And we would like to invite you all. There's a free lunch. You can still sign up for that. And we're very excited about bringing this to Snellville. We feel like it's an important community event. Thank you.
And can you give that date and time one more time?
This Friday,
This Friday.
September 27th, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Westminster Presbyterian. Free lunch, but sign up. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else? Seeing none, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second?
All in favor, raise your right hand. It's 5-0. Thank you all for coming out tonight. Please drive safely.